Back in August, I ran a charity stream to raise money for the ALS Association by trying to beat a Maritime Bay adventure as fast as possible. Myself, my wife Haley, and my buddy Mike, who knows next to nothing about the franchise, agreed to collectively donate $10 for every minute it took us to beat the game. I'll be honest, I'm not super proud of how it turned out, but we ended up raising over $1,000 for a charity that means a lot to me. So between Ciderfest this month and my desperate scrambling to get that 3-hour ranking video out by the end of the year, here's a thrown together compilation of that 2-hour stream.
I'm here with my wife, Haley.
Hello.
If I am a 10...
Oh my gosh, sorry, my voice came in right when Sunny's face appeared. This is my wife, Sunny. I
Nope.
would say I don't count myself as part of the community, but I do like the show and I respect what it is.
Oh, fantastic. Mike is a 1.
Does that imply... Okay, that doesn't imply hatred or anything.
No, it doesn't. It just, you have a 0 knowledge of this.
0, like, not really looking to get into it.
Bunny!
Hello, Bunny. I don't like the way they look.
Johnny, sometimes the drive to merchandise creates masterpieces. Is this one of those?
This game, no. When this game came out, people were like, oh, dope, new horse game. And then it
Really? They were like that?
No, people were so... Shut up! The extinct history of charmingly bad movie tie-in games.
These are extinct?
The people I discussed this with, they don't really have quite the connection to say, like, Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer. I mean, it's still there. I'm not going to tell them their childhoods aren't worthy.
It used to be like you go to Blockbuster and you could rent video game versions of whatever cool new movie came out. Like, I have very vivid memories of playing Madagascar, the video game.
GoldenEye, like the surprise hit, like one of the most famous games on the N64. And that was a movie tie-in game.
Surprisingly designed by a group of people who had never designed a video game before.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's upsetting.
I remember in the 2010s, when I was babysitting a 6-year-old and stuff, that like a Transformer game would come out.
Yeah.
Or one of the many Marvel movie tie-ins.
But like the Spider-Man video game.
Yeah.
That they're still making, and all the Batman, like Arkham City and those kind of games. But it's a larger universe that these games are based in. They're not just, we made a movie, here's a video game about it.
I guess this is a good trend to die away.
Well,
or maybe this will make me lament a lost art form.
Well, it must have worked because they're working on a second console game for this franchise. And Gen 4 was like, except for a couple mobile games, it was pretty notable for not really getting any video games. Not a lot of development time went into this, I don't think. Not to diss any of the creators, but like it was a movie tie-in game. Right?
Oh, okay. So that answers my...
And it is, and I mean,
earlier question.
And but that's actually a little tricky because it didn't come out close to the movie. It came out a little bit later.
So Michael, that's Hitch. Tell me about Hitch.
Is he the detective?
Yeah.
Well, kind of. There are 2 detectives.
There's 2 well, let's be careful. Maybe. We don't know if there'll be little detectives in their future, but...
Who keeps feeding that bunny? I can't imagine what the weird, very weird expectations and pressure it must have been to have been the team behind prepping and designing Gen 5. Because Gen 4, at least from what you've told me, is unlike any other generation of ponies. The fandom and the success it achieved was very unique. There's only once where you have to come after Gen 4. All the other ones, they didn't have this kind of success and maturity and difference.
I'd love to explore earlier gen things, but I know that they're not quite as popular because they do come before that, not out of disdain for the series, but in a climate where girls' shows weren't respected.
Right.
My Little Pony as a series and as a toy line had to be popular enough for Gen 4 to exist. But on the flip side, we know that the earlier generations weren't as popular as Gen 4 eventually became.
Gens 1 through 3, did they have bronies?
Here's the lazy answer, and then let me expound. They must necessarily have had bronies because one of the characters in Gen 1 is a little boy. That being said...
Is it?
Is it? No, there's a guy in there. There's a boy in there.
All I remember is the blonde girl.
I'll be really honest. Yeah,
Why does that necessarily imply that there must have been bronies?
Because they want... I'm
assuming statistically, yeah, there must have been some.
Why would you would you put a little boy in there? I mean, it doesn't matter in the long term because
there are girls and boys shows.
No, definitely, but I just the concept of a brony did not exist because its novelty at the turn of 2010 necessitated a kind of word for that.
So that's why I'm interested in the fact that like when the writers started conceiving of Gen 4, they didn't have this expectations of a slightly more mature fan base.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, and a more adult fan base.
But 5 did. And I find that must... to me, that would have come
Before
across as
did, or?
no.
This one?
5, yeah, Gen 5 starts out with the expectation that a huge portion of our audience is not children.
Yeah, I get the idea, and guys, I love doing research. I've been putting like old pony stuff on the back burner, so I don't quite my lore in terms of like older stuff is not where it should be, so I could be talking out of my butt. The older stuff, I feel like after a couple generations, Hasbro lost interest in the property. Because when they brought Lauren Faust in to work on 4, it was like, we want you to revitalize this property we're basically sitting on.
Right.
Because Gen 2 didn't have any merchandise. Gen 3 had merchandise, but when I look at that logo, I'm reminded of being in the 4th grade or the 5th grade or whatever, going to a Scholastic's book fair and seeing that Lisa Frank logo with all the very bright colors.
Yeah, and I do have memories of Gen 3. I never saw, like, the movies or anything, but I do remember seeing merchandise, books, coloring books, McDonald's toys especially. I had a handful of My Little Pony McDonald's toys. You've seen John's video on Pipp Petals. Pipp is a fascinating character in Gen 5, simply because of the nature of the audience she is catering to.
Demons?
No, yeah.
But the idea of an influencer character in 1983 would not have...
Oh, that's interesting. Pipp Petals could not have existed when this franchise began in 1983. In fact, when Gen 5 happened, one of the most jarring things for people to get over is the fact that basically every pony had a phone.
But if you're gonna make a character whose entire character is I make videos, you have to have, everybody has to have.
Okay, let me reverse engineer that.
That's true.
They said the characters have to have phones because kids these days have phones. And after they knew that they were going to be in a world that contained phones, then you can have an influencer character.
Well, which one came first, I don't think really matters.
It doesn't, no, not at all. I'm waxing poetic.
Can we talk about that bunny for a minute?
That bunny is a chonker, and he's also the worst cutscene in the game in terms of audio mixing. I don't mean what I said 5 minutes ago when I said that, kids these days don't have crappy tie-in games.
They probably do. We're shielded from them.
But again, so many movies today are made in a larger universe. And again, I don't mean to dunk at the MCU just because I'm not a part of it. But when you make a Spider-Man game, it does not what you're connecting to is not necessarily the movie. It's the wider lore that is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, guys,
same with Star Wars.
When you played Spider-Man the game, were you reenacting scenes from the movie you had just watched?
The Spider-Man games that I happen to play were essentially tie-in movies.
And Gen 4 did take it in a more mature tone, and I think Gen 5 has kind of kept the ball rolling with what they were doing. But regardless of that buildup of other fans, unintended audience fans, Hasbro always makes My Little Pony with at least even older kids in mind.
Yeah.
Except for episode 100 of Gen 4.
That's
what happens there?
No, it's leave him in the dark for a little bit.
Can we talk about it on YouTube?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
yeah, you can. I'm just
can.
gonna spend half an hour before we get back to that talking point. One thing that I do think that is like a line in the sand that I won't cross as a content creator is, I think that there is adult stuff in this fandom, and there needs to be a clear line where if you don't want to be involved in that adult stuff, you stay on this line, and a person should not have to be subjected to that.
Right, but I am saying for canon content.
Yeah.
Hasbro has always made it with kids in mind. Okay, so episode 100.
Yeah, I have to go find this paint bucket, so if you could fill Mike in while I focus.
Yeah, well, follow the butterfly.
Okay, Mike, by the way, this is Navi. If you ever get stuck, you just follow the butterfly.
Yeah.
We just have to look for a brightly colored bucket in this color palette.
That's actually the one thing I'm bugged about when I think about this game is that butterfly, which gets like I think a name in this show, doesn't come back. It's not been in the show or anything, this magical butterfly.
Well, it's a tool, John.
Yeah, but you'd think it would show up because it said,
Why?
I don't know, if it's going to be in the game, why?
It's just a butterfly.
It looks like the Aperoid from,
Hey, the freaking Chonk boss bunny is not in this either.
Yet.
hate this show. I hate it. Where's my bunny chunk?
How dare you? So episode 100.
Okay. Yes.
Of Gen 4. This is the main 6 ponies are off fighting. I think it's a bugbear.
Yep.
They're off fighting this bugbear, and while they're doing that, the plotline does not focus on them. Instead, it focuses on pretty much every single other side character you've met in the show, trying to get ready for this wedding. And because it's...
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that there's adult content in it, but the fan base grew to love these side characters, and there's so much art and creativity around these side characters. You could tell Hasbro very clearly meant it as like okay, this one's for you guys.
Oh, so while everyone else is saving the day,
Yeah.
they're okay.
Yep, it doesn't focus on the main 6 at all. It just focuses on
It's
these
getting
side
ready for a
characters.
wedding shenanigans. Like, my toupee is broken, or what music am I gonna play?
Wait, do you guys like this or not? Like
Oh
this?
yeah,
It's a
love
ton of
this.
fun.
Okay.
It's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Because
it's
I
great.
like that idea.
Yeah.
All right.
The other
My pony is Buffy, so
love it.
Your pony is just Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Right.
Nice.
Love it.
just the show and the spin-offs. Yes.
One time, guys. Man, I have a lot.
Oh, I thought you meant your fan character was a pony version of Buffy the Vampire
That's also what I
Slayer.
heard. That's also what I heard. Yeah.
I thought you were making an OC.
No, I'm not.
Persona.
I'm not worthy. No.
Oh, Mike, here. Let me
Well,
tell.
actually, I do have an OC, but somebody won't draw her.
I talk about that 4-dimensional.
Draw Tess. Draw it.
Test the 4-dimensional Tesseract pony.
Yes.
All right, I can dig
I
that.
described it quite clearly as what was it, a Beast Wars transformer half completing a transformation seen through a kaleidoscope. What is so difficult
I'll
that?
work on it, you guys. I'm the recovering alcoholic in the group. So when you guys are drinking, I have to do something with my hands, and if it means drawing,
Yeah.
in
You're
Tesseract
welcome.
pony?
the Beast Wars pony, I'll do that for you.
Seen through a kaleidoscope. Get it right. Details are
All
important.
right, Mike. Here's another character that barely shows up in the show so far. Her name is Primrose. A very shy character who has a crush on Hitch,
A
and
major crush.
she
like,
disappears on Hitch because we're gonna meet the person who's gonna end up with Hitch. A lot of the fandom leaves, and I'll explain when she shows up.
Actually, so I was under the impression that was the main ship too, John. I do not think that is the case.
Actually, no. People
I think shipping is pretty equal between the two sisters
between
and Hitch.
Primrose and the other one.
No, between Hitch and the two sisters, Pip and Zip.
Primrose, should I hate her or not?
No, she's not in it enough
No,
for you
she's
to
fine.
have a strong opinion either way.
Yeah.
About anybody.
But she taking my man away from my potentially other favorite character? I don't know.
I don't know. You've only met
I
4 of
think
the 5
you're gonna
characters.
like Zip. If
Okay.
you're gonna like any character, it's gonna be her.
Well, she's so much fun.
One of the brand names is just Pony.
Yeah, like Sony, but with a P. Look up there on the top left.
I know, but in this context, it's like, would you buy some human?
So the other big episode of Gen 4 that is a clear nod to the wider adult fan base is the one where Twilight gets mad.
In an effort to expand their lessons of friendship, they took a journal that they wrote their lessons in seasons 4 and I think 5, maybe, I'm not sure. 4 for sure. It's like, I recopied that into a book that you could purchase now. And the people that buy that are treating it like a new fandom. Like, there are people that are like, I hate that Rarity's such a crab apple. Like, she's so mean. It's like, I'm right here, guys. I'm a real person.
Yeah.
And there's a huge hullabaloo about the behind the scenes of that episode because the guy whose name officially appears in the written credit went to one of the developers and said, people aren't going to like this. In fact, I'm so sure that I wrote you a replacement episode that talks about the same feelings and the same motives.
Ooh.
About it was a magical version of be careful who you're mean to on the internet because there's a real person on the side. And whoever he spoke to basically said, no, we're doing this thing. And it's still funny, but the cynicism is not a good look.
You know, when you're a fan of something and you like something, even if you recognize that some of the things that even you as a fan do are cringe, you don't want to be yelled and called out for it by the creators.
Okay, is this... I'm trying to gauge the level of cynical meta audience humor. Is this My Little Pony doing a Rick and Morty? Like talking about its own audience?
Is Gen 5?
This episode that we're talking about now
okay.
is at the level of when Rick and Morty starts to make fun of its own audience.
The closest I can think of is when, do you remember the episode where Dan Harmon really hates heist movies?
Yes.
That's kind of close to what it is.
Okay, that I'm not sure if that fits a pony level.
It does. I used to really like it because the person they were making fun of wasn't me. But even
feels
if it's
good, doesn't it?
Yeah. But even if it's not me, I still felt kind of bad. Like it clearly is different from any other episode.
I don't want to watch a horse dance. It looks like something's gonna break.
They look like an animal that isn't designed to move
Your
laterally.
knees should not move that way.
Are you guys familiar with dressage?
No.
Okay, so dressage is a section of equestrian sports. I don't think it's part of the Olympics, but it is in the equestrian field of sports.
You just leave me here. I'm looking fly as.
It is essentially horse dancing. So they'll play music, and it's teaching the horse to do very methodical step work.
Yes, I've seen this. It makes me cringe. It's that just no. Stop making them do that.
I think that in our world, horses are symbols of power. Like we clearly bred the dopest looking thing we found when
and it's scared of a plastic bag.
Hey, you can't win them all, you know.
All my equestrians in the
they
audience.
could have given her like a little bit more variety of the animation
Johnny,
cycle
you're
here.
too early, like consistently.
I'm
It's
getting
driving
better
me
now.
Crazy.
Yeah, one thing that I criticized this was that
No, there's no excuse. This is for children. You should be acing this.
I'm trying to. Yes, it's easy to do when I'm doing literally anything else.
At Brandon Luke 2755 says, "Do you think Pinkie Pie likes pickles?"
What kind of question is that?
Are they covered in sprinkles?
No, actually, she'll just eat straight pickles. Because wouldn't
I
you?
think she would.
Yeah.
Pinkie Pie's just like a fan of food. I think that's fine.
If I
Pickles
two-starred
are
this,
just-
I'm gonna be so mad.
Not enough sugar.
Oh, we did it! Okay, fantastic. You don't have to go
Yay!
back and do that.
Great job. At Barry Clinton 5731 says, "When did you start watching MLP, and what is the first episode you watched of Friendship is Magic?" I think I know the answer to this one.
Go for it.
I think the first episode I ever showed you of My Little Pony was when Rarity is making dresses, Art of the Dress. But I was like, oh, John, I thought this would be really cringe because you were a really, really bad film and TV snob
I was a
when we were in college.
huge snob when it came to film and TV.
And so I was like, oh, he's not going to like this because it's for children and he only likes big, tough Blumhouse movies. And he's watching, he's like, I can't...
24.
And he was like, I can't get mad with stakes this low. We're just teaching kids how to sew stuff.
What I got was the criminal offensive side eye where you were waiting for me to get snobby about this sewing episode. And I'll censor it in post, but babe, I can't get mad with stakes this low. I did not have it in me to get that mad at a show that was being that earnest about how not to milk your friends for free stuff.
I wish I could go back in time as you're binging through the Saw franchise and just going, hey, Johnny, you're gonna love My Little Pony.
I don't know what I'm going to be into in 10 years.
That's the magic of it. I love that.
So that was the first episode you watched, but there's actually two people who asked this question. When did you start watching MLP?
Oh, when did I start watching, guys? It's I guess I don't have to hide it anymore. I used to have a severe drinking problem that peaked in 2020. And I do remember that it was frequently that I would be heavily intoxicated whenever my wife was out doing stuff. And I said, you know what? That weird one where the horses are people, I'm gonna watch that. And so I turned on the original Equestria Girls movie from I think 2013 or 2014. This is kind of fun. I would like more of this, please. But let's start maybe from where they're horses, because that seems like a better place to begin.
As with everything with John, as you know, Michael, he can't just like something. It must totally consume every facet of his entire being. Which is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, it occasionally is something to be upset by. It so happened that the day that I stopped drinking was the day we recorded that podcast episode, which is like the first thing we did on this channel.
Yeah.
Which is basically saying, here's what I think of the show, because we were also watching and reviewing other things, and it just so happened that like I wanted to put way more effort into that than I thought that I did. I need more paint. Where is my butterfly?
Can you imagine trying to do this stream as distracted as we are? There's a paint store.
Oh, good. Yeah, he's doing the Ed Netty thing where he wants some stuff.
I could trade you some.
How is that an excuse for not noticing the giant stand with the paint bucket?
Dude, it engages.
Don't blame Ed and Eddie. No.
Okay, I'll
There
blame.
are apples over there, sir.
I'll blame the pony equivalent episode Trade Show where everybody gets exactly what they want, except that Rainbow Dash almost sells Fluttershy into indentured servitude.
You didn't say that. By the way, I'm gonna complete this.
I know it's
100% completion.
It's an easy game to 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really not bad. How and when were you inspired to start making content?
Ooh,
That's by @Mr. Someone, by the way.
thank you. Oh, Mr. Someone, hey, how's he doing?
Just content in general or MLP content?
Does he have a profile picture that looks like Kronk from Emperor's New Groove as a pony?
It is a very attractive looking, I believe, stallion.
It's a sexy looking stallion.
Yeah, I'm not gonna presume anybody's gender here, though it does have a crimson chin. I'm sorry for cursing.
I think that qualifies as a. I think
Some chins
There was only one way to describe this chin. Okay.
I think when you pick a chin like that, it's pretty obviously going to be a crimson chin. Like that's the only thing you need to describe that chin. I've forgotten his question already.
When did you want to make content?
How and when were you inspired to start making content?
Well, we used to have a show. Oh, so guys, we were Let's Players with my friend Josh and these two here.
Yeah, we told the story already.
Between 2017 and 2020, and there was a side series we did called the Day After Podcast, and of which the Day After Ponycast was going to be one of those episodes. And I decided, you know what? I am dangerously into this show, so I'm gonna make this its own thing.
Yeah, that episode took how long?
That episode took probably to write. It was an
John,
off the cuff
you
thing.
missed a pinata.
Oh yeah, I can't get at it. It needs like something.
No, you gotta bounce on the pumpkin. Now that the pumpkin.
Oh, now that the pumpkin's better, of course. Yeah.
It's pumpkin season, Johnny.
Yeah, I did what I found out later were basically pony PMVs, like tightly edited covers of my favorite songs of the time, like The Magic Inside or I'll Fly or
There's some really talented people as part of this fandom.
It's really upsetting how talented you guys are.
You guys are so cool.
But like that was like the better part of a year,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, this ranking every episode thing has been going on to its second, possibly third year, and I'd like to get that done, which is why you're seeing this now. Because if you're looking at this fresh upload, that means that I'm busy working, trying to get that out of the door.
He also asked, have you heard of the Out of Our Mains podcast?
Oh, yeah. He's got a podcast.
Oh, okay.
It's quite good.
When did you first start Let's Playing?
Oh, gross.
Yeah, you were.
Guys, I went to...
You seduced me into watching Let's Plays. You showed me some, and I was like, "That's the stupidest thing." And then I had a job where my brain died, and so then I just started watching. And I couldn't stop.
I ran into Josh, my high school friend, when I was prepping an engagement mixtape to my wife, and he's like,
"That's me."
Yeah, he's like, "So you really like editing? I wanted to be a Let's Player." I'm like, "Shit, I love editing because." At the time, I watched a bunch of Game Grumps, and Barry Kramer is still the reason that I know all my editing techniques, because one time he posted just a 40-minute video on basic Premiere Pro stuff.
Because I remember, like, we had just got out of college, and then, like, we didn't see each other for about a year or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, then around that time when we started seeing each other again, you were making these tiny little videos, and...
But we didn't actually start. We tried to start in, I think, 2014, and we were so inexperienced that all our equipment broke and we didn't know how to use it. And then we did a soft reboot playing God of War in 2017,
yeah.
which actually the first one's quite good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we did. We did that for 4 years. I stopped because it began to become a chore getting out. I probably should have done longer videos less often with less intensive thing, but I thought, objectively, getting workout is the most important thing to do. It's not important to feel any special way about your content. You need to be getting it out fast.
Even though every single person in your life was telling you that is not the case.
I don't know where that's why it takes me a month to do these things, because they're like essays rather than improv exercises.
How faster could she possibly go on rollerblades?
Oh,
she's a horse.
Okay, have you seen that initial scene with Vanessa Hudgens? It's incredible.
Mind, I stand corrected. Look at her go!
@Penguin Gunner Productions asks, I noticed in your videos you have a lot of you have a lo-fi/chill remix of the MLP theme. Did you create that remix, or was it created in the MLP retrospective you did a year ago? You did a retrospective?
That was probably the podcast
Is it the
episode.
podcast?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep. The old lo-fi version of that is a lo-fi version of the theme tune I had made by a guy named Single Purpose. I said, just give me a lo-fi version of the show's theme, and he did that.
Did you find him on Fiverr, or was
No,
he...
he's a pony friend. Actually,
Okay.
when I worked on I Need the Crabs before I can participate in crab games.
We have to go give Sonny crabs.
Before I
do have to say that lo-fi version, I really enjoy it, and I'm not a pony fan, and it occasionally runs through my head.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, it's a guy named... when I worked on the Ponycast, it was a... I didn't yet know any fan creators very well. So I have some people on Fiverr I don't quite use as much now. A guy named Nico and Hoopa, and I have a drummer as well. I didn't use them because I wanted to use pony, artists wherever I could. All right, Mike, this is a tougher version of the bunny thing, because in addition to bunnies, you're also herding crabs now.
Wait, we have to collect something?
Yeah.
I don't think it can be done.
What was that about you hating cynicism, sir? Excuse me? So, Mikey,
I deserve that.
the crabs go in one area, and the bunnies go in a different area.
Because if you put animals that don't belong together, you freak out the kids, and then you can't go back to the zoo, which is a shame because we live next to a really good zoo.
Well, we don't live next to one. We live an hour's drive from one. Which, if you were anywhere in Europe, you're like, oh my gosh.
What is an hour?
John, get the buns.
I'm working on it.
Get the buns.
Guys, if you're gonna watch Jean-Claude Van Damme later, I swear I'm gonna have.
I'm gonna hurt you.
Mike,
I'm gonna hurt you so bad.
Mike, I was so ready to hurt you because this isn't your thing, and like the fact that you're just casually enjoying being on the table here with us.
What I want to understand is, you see, usually when you herd them inside an enclosure. You, on the other hand, are doing the opposite. Farmers hate you desperately.
One weird trick to make Applejack hate you.
Like you are a terrorist right now. Just stop doing this.
I'm quite...
Close the gate. If I was a child, I would hate this.
Kitty Guts asks, what is the craziest thing that has happened to you at a convention?
I've been to one convention, that's Cider Fest 2021.
One pony convention. We've been to other.
Oh, did they ask
wider
what happened to be at a convention?
Yeah, what's the craziest
General?
thing that happened to you at a convention?
Well, let me answer
it did
the
not
more.
specify Cider Fest.
When you went to Europe in 2014 to study abroad for a semester.
Yeah.
As a going away present, you bought me tickets to, I think it was Sioux Falls Con. It was a smaller con.
No, it was NebCon in Nebraska.
It was one of the first times that I had ever drank at all. And we had like cherry McGillicuddies at the place. And I went to like the rave they had. They had like little dance parties. And like, apparently this one guy was dressed as Jesus with purple nipples. Basically, he said, "Dude, never stop partying."
Saith the Lord.
And I took that to heart, and I haven't stopped partying since.
Okay, so now we know why you had a drinking problem. Thank you, Jesus. Animators and writers of children's formats in general, thank you for not continuing the Cera. That she's
Dude, there
gone.
are way more Land Before Time movies than I thought there were.
No, okay, that is true. But like
that character though,
like that annoying girl tomboy.
The girl bully is what it is.
Yeah.
That is what she does.
it.
It's female bullying. Having experienced a few female bullies in my time, that's what they do.
Aren't you supposed to love her? She's just so cute. No.
I knew people, and I knew someone who was named Cera, who like that was their hero, and acted exactly
What
like
is
her.
wrong with them?
I don't know.
If you had a kind of fun character named Haley, even if she was just the worst, wouldn't you like give her the benefit of all the doubt?
So I had my first experience with that was watching American Dad. There's not a ton of Haleys, much less spelled in a non-weird way.
No.
You screwed up again.
No, I think I got it.
You want me to try?
No, I think I got it. Hang on.
Johnny, to me, like,
We got
it. Oh, you got it.
No, it wasn't. It was like, that's like asking, hey, if you had this character named Stalin, I mean Angelica, just
Now I know what her
just like, oh, I hated her. I did not like being around her. I just watching her presence, and I liked it when she got messed up.
Yeah, like when she's all sad in that first movie.
I didn't
I'm
care.
like, you deserve it.
This is
This is Eyebrows. Hi, Eyebrows.
this is Sprout, but Mike, this is Sprout. He was played in the movie by Ken Jeong, and when when they had a superstar cast, a lot of people were worried, like, they're never, ever going to get Vanessa Hudgens as Sunny or Ken Jeong as Sprout to come to conventions. But I have
Can we name this bunny?
Emperor, everything I give him is way too dirty to be on this show. Emperor Turd. Emperor Turd.
John, go get a smoothie.
I named my child. Guys, you don't understand. 9 years.
Guys, you don't understand. I'm really funny.
Guys, 9 years of watching My Little Pony, and the bunny character is just reflexively evil and stupid. That even when it's a throwaway character, I had to do a race.
I can't think of anything else now besides just Emperor Turd.
Also, this is why I never played Crash Bandicoot, is because I really hated running towards the camera.
Would someone clean up this street?
The street was totally clear a minute ago. I think the smoothie man.
This is your new minigame.
Specifically in your way.
Clean those boxes.
We gotta go get a flower.
Right next door here.
I want Emperor Turd to have like a rival gang leader, like he's the Jets and the Sharks.
When
and
you're a turd, you're a turd all the way.
Where did my butterfly go?
John, go to the flower shop.
There's nobody there. They went out on break.
Oh no!
It's a different flower shop I need to be at. I'm sorry.
You need to go up there.
When you're a turd. Oh, Mike, we never talked to you about it. Hitch can talk to animals.
Sonny looks like a skater girl.
Do people even know these days who Avril Lavigne? No, that's rude.
Yes, they do.
I remember.
They're more familiar with her brother, though.
Adam Levine?
Yeah.
No, holy cow! They're.
Aren't they siblings? Isn't that a
as
thing?
soon as you said, of course. Of course.
I just never thought about it, so I had the same reaction that John just had.
I thought that was like a well-known thing that Adam
I don't know.
and Avril are.
I
gotta look it up now.
The amount of time I spend per day thinking about Avril Lavigne has only gone down. Guys, you gotta understand, when I first entered puberty, Avril Lavigne was the it girl.
Oh.
So I have a special place in my heart for
No,
her.
they are not related at all. She does have a brother, but his name is Matthew.
Well, now I'm gonna have to forget this true fact that you told me.
I'm sorry. Oh, their last names are spelled completely differently. When you're a turd, you're a turd.
There he goes.
There he goes.
Out of the series. He never comes back.
Did he really just leave his friends behind?
Lead as I would have led.
No, what you see is that has caused a power vacuum, and now there will be a giant civil war on the streets.
Form a constitutional monarchy, my children.
I don't quite care as much about Adam Levine. In 2011, Paralyzer was on top of the universe.
Finger 11?
Yeah, right? That's him, isn't it? Maroon 5.
What? No. What?
Pretend
Okay, Paralyzer's by Finger 11. Adam Levine was in Maroon 5.
Those are two different things.
Oh, Finger 11 and Maroon 5 are totally different. Mike,
You even said the two different names out loud.
Mike, pretend I didn't say that. This is Zip. This is Zip Storm. She really likes Hitch because she also likes detective work. She's big into detective. She loves solving clues.
She's actually a Rainbow Dash that has most of her negative traits taken away.
Okay, thank you for saying that. Because the second I saw her, I was like, hi, not Rainbow Dash.
And I'm not one of those people who says that, oh, Gen 5 is just a carbon copy of Gen 4, because they're not, and
It's
whoever
not.
says so is lazy.
Yeah, they haven't seen the show.
But
it's true.
But Zip is there are very clear similarities, but she doesn't want to make me ram my head into a wall like Rainbow Dash does.
There was a discussion I did here about whether it's a negative trait to have all whether it is good for the franchise as a whole to create versions of these characters with their negative traits sanded out. For instance, was Rainbow Dash better because she was not quite so polished a character?
I mean, I think all characters need to have flaws, and it's extremely important for all characters that need to have flaws. It's just, Rainbow Dashes drove me freaking insane.
That's okay. I'm kind of torn because I don't like Rainbow Dash. I'm with you on this one. But I like the idea of having a character who, isn't perfect, and the maturity of the show to recognize that. What I kind of
Okay, I'm sorry. Hang on. There's a pony just hanging out in the ocean, but with the way they're just holding that smoothie, and their arm was straight, and they weren't moving.
Oh.
And I was like, "Did you get stuck in a T-post?" I'm really sorry, Mike, for interrupting you. Rainbow Dash.
John, you tell me, because you've seen much more pony than I have.
I don't know about that.
Do the rest of the characters recognize that she is a bit of a
Yeah, well, that's
And do they react accordingly? Because that's the part that I kind of like. She's a bit of a, and they don't act as if she is.
Yeah, they're just kind of like, huh, that's Rainbow Dash.
Gotta love her.
here's the problem: is that it feels like people that have issues with Rainbow Dash, they can't. No matter which extreme you go on, you get criticized. Because on one hand, if you do nothing about her, you're just like, why are you letting her be? She sucks. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, if you're too hard, you get episodes like 28 Pranks Later, where she's been pranking the entire town. She's on a total rampage. She won't stop. And they're like, how do we get her to listen? Because we've told her multiple times to stop. So they invent a cookie zombie virus.
They do. It's pretty. It's
As
pretty
you
baller.
do with what?
They using makeup and cooking magic. They create a virus cookie that when you eat it, turns you into a bad guy or
Okay.
a zombie.
They just prank her. Oh Jesus Christ!
It's it's a zombie movie.
Sorry, I was like, wait, your solution to some person's is you cause the apocalypse?
No, we fake cause
Got
the
it.
apocalypse to make her freak out.
Yeah, and but then people will
Does
say,
she? Oh, sorry.
But then people will say, "Oh my God, you guys went way overboard." What?
No,
We were trying to do this for years.
In that episode in particular, no, you didn't.
There's a whole marathon of really mean stuff.
Is
that
she
happens
different
to her.
afterwards?
At the end of the episode, maybe.
No.
I mean, does
After,
anything?
in the rest of the series?
I don't know.
It's like you haven't
I don't
seen
want
every
every
episode.
Rainbow Dash fan jumping down my throat because
Yeah.
I didn't do the research.
There are parts of her character I don't like. I understand that it's very important. All of the Gen 4 ponies, especially, are flawed. And it is very refreshing to see that. They all have things that don't work. Again, I think the Rainbow Dash for me is more personal because I knew so many people like that.
Girls like that.
And
Yeah.
and
Yes.
yes, and our society teaches us to praise that.
That's what like. It's the not realistically portraying the backlash of
Yeah.
acting like that kind of annoys me.
What I think is people's problem is that there is a dissonance wanting to fix that kind of person and then being frustrated that these ponies will continue to be friends with her. And I think that there is subtlety to that can't get in the way, like we only have so much episode time in an episode to address that.
Right.
And so a lot of times it goes by the wayside.
Right, and the episodes do have the Family Guy reset problem where the next episode usually doesn't have anything to do with the lesson we just learned.
What was I looking for?
And
3
also,
hints?
just it would get just in terms of writing episodes with dramatic variety and flavor, it would get really dry if all of a sudden Rainbow Dash is not Rainbow Dash anymore.
It's kind of like when Neil Patrick Harris in season 5, they wanted to make Barney Stinson like a settle down, get married kind of guy, and they were afraid they were going to lose old Barney if they did that.
Yes. Okay, I see the problem there.
That is a problem.
Granted,
'cause
I have different problems with Barney.
now, weirdly though, almost none of them Rainbow Dash related.
No, Rainbow Dash is a character.
Barney is a no, he's fine.
But Barney is I think Mike's problem with Barney is Barney is less of a character and more just a set of jokes.
Funny, entertaining jokes.
Yes.
But he's surrounded by characters.
Right.
And then they treat him like a character. It's kind of... Okay, I'm gonna get too many fans mad. It's like, you hate Rainbow Dash, you hate Neil Patrick Harris. I don't hate Neil Patrick Harris.
And we're not saying we hate Rainbow Dash. There are aspects of her character that I find really irritating and annoying, and I tend to not like to watch her when she's on screen.
I know I'm fighting ghosts right now. It's like, John, why don't you do Rainbow Dash episodes? Because she's got so much stuff going on. She's like that girl you knew in high school who was in every extracurricular, and she's always doing something.
Do you mean like the character is actually always doing something, or like she's got so many issues?
No, it's not a mental thing. It's just like
She's involved in so many
she's
things.
constantly like, I'm helping Applejack blow up the barn because she has to make a new barn. That kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
She's always like volunteering to do stuff because it sounds cool.
It kind of fits with their character, I suppose.
Except when she has nap time, because that cannot be interrupted.
Actually, I wish she did nap time a little bit more because I generally like nap time scenes. If you go to Lauren Faust's original pitch Bible, she has a drawing of Rainbow Dash in the clouds that basically says, Sometimes Rainbow Dash leaves town for 2 days and we don't know where she went. Did
Please.
you have a character in a kid's show, Cera notwithstanding, that you really hated? For whatever reason, Angelica, but you know. Sometimes
But
kids...
she was like designed for you to hate.
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
You gotta go get a pool floaty.
Oh yeah, I need a pool floaty from this girl. And this girl's like, yeah, but you gotta find my pet crab. If you asked a 5-year-old to invent a name for the pet crab, this is the name of the pet crab. And I
Krabby.
forget it. I think it is Krabby.
Krabby.
Actually, I think that the Pokemon Dynasty wouldn't allow that for like copyright reasons, but it's like Krabby McSnipserface or something.
Okay, I'm kind of torn here again because
Give me a sec.
Pokemon shouldn't be able to own the lazy ass name of Krabby for a crab.
Give me just a second to hear this crab's name.
Babette! Baby, you're back!
Babette. Actually, that's not terrible.
There we go.
But you're right. They shouldn't have the copyright on the word
Yeah.
Krabby.
One time.
What's this bird's name? Birdie. We own that. Get that into copyright. Birdie.
Yep, and call up Albert Einstein at his patent office. Tell him we get
I'm
Birdie.
gonna say the only one that makes me mad is Ducklet.
Here's your paint.
Guys, diminishing... You guys act mad about diminishing returns on Pokemon like it wasn't an inevitability. You know what I mean?
I hope you
we're
mean you
approach-
guys in general and not us two.
The people in
specifically.
general. No,
Okay.
I would never dunk on you guys. I just saw that thing pop up. Where
Oh
is
yes.
it? There it is.
Ever since I
It's
was
right there.
ever since I was 7 years old, I was a doomsayer of Pokemon. Like Ash, you're going nowhere. This is crap.
Pretty good at this.
You're just gonna end up a homeless man sleeping with trees under trees with the rat.
One time for Valentine's Day, I bought a set of Pokemon Valentines, and my parents laughed at me because I gave my grandparents Krabby.
That's kind of funny,
You
right?
don't love your grandparents.
I'm gonna go see if that angry mob is gone.
I was like being really, really careful and trying to like match everybody's personalities to the different Pokemon. I don't know why I selected Krabby.
If I was 65 years old, I would love being compared to a crab.
Oh, it's because my
is
grandma wintered in Texas, and they had like seafood all the time. It took time to have seafood.
Oh, that's why you
Oh,
chose
thank
it.
God it's not. Hey, Grandma, you also drew bubbles from your mouth.
I cannot help but feel like, raw, the roller skates make you faster. You're also worse at moving in them.
It's like being on ice. Somebody once pointed out to me that the physics of the original Super Mario Brothers game are quite slippery, like you're on ice almost.
I see,
Go-
yeah.
if you go back and play it,
Yeah,
it's,
it is.
there's no sense of friction.
So, walk me through what it was like, Michael, to go to college.
You see-
a little while into your freshman year, you meet a new roommate, and all he wants to do is show you this new game that he found and have you play it with him. And
Oh.
when you guys suddenly became roommates, we had somebody who loved games and somebody who couldn't stand them.
Well, okay. Games. You got to be specific. How would you describe like?
I like games.
But that's not specific enough. Because I could say
I
that
like rugby.
you do not like first-person shooters.
No, not really.
Yeah. So get specific.
I like games with really specific.
They could be a challenge in a reality show.
Yeah, okay, but that well-defined. I really wish I wasn't playing a game right now so I could crawl down your throat.
Here, do you want me to go look for stars?
Please,
for a while?
just for a little bit.
That covers about 90% of what
But no,
you're
Mike,
talking
Mike,
about.
Mike, I love challenge. I love game design. Okay, I adore things with really nice, quiet.
You can't just say game design though, because again, I just say first-person shooter.
No. I like, but those are stupid.
They're not games. They're not games.
Yeah, they are games, but they suck. You know.
At him. You like a first-person shooter? That's not a game, so says Johnny.
It is a game, but okay, I think I'm done here. It is a game, but I like things with very well-defined. You see, that doesn't even. I was gonna say I like things with very well-defined, short gameplay loops.
I am extremely uncompetitive. Like when we play Jackbox, I don't like trivia games, but I love.
There goes a quarter of all Jackbox
But I
games.
love the collaborative, imaginative ones where
like Bidiots?
Oh yes, or the one where you improv.
Talking points.
Those ones.
Yes.
When you're
Yeah.
working together and you're improving off each other, that I love. But trivia, I despise it.
Well,
The best trivia games are ones that give everyone an equal chance.
Well, some games suck. But games. The power of games is not just to win. Like, I think I was in the shower and I was yelling to myself. I think that there is merit in games like Candyland, which don't have any player choice. It's just flip the card and see who win. But it's a good as a teaching tool to teach kids about, following rules and developing a set pattern of okay,
Being
when you
patient and don't flip the board.
wait your turn.
Anybody else have slightly weird feelings about Lord Licorice?
Who in
Okay.
the right mind is Lord Licorice?
I don't- I recently played Candyland with Maddie.
Yeah?
They changed the board. I don't like it. I don't like
What?
it. I
They
don't
ruined... Excuse me.
They're not as good. They're different
They
people
ruined
now.
Lord Licorice?
I didn't even see him there. Maybe granted, I was playing like a mini board, and Licorice was not there.
Oh, we're gonna
Piece-
have some words, Milton Bradley.
Pieces of Licorice were on the board, but the Licorice man,
The man himself
Was not there.
Conveniently absent.
and that's just not okay in my book.
It's
I,
not.
I just knew to stay away from Lord Licorice because he looked like he was doing his own thing in his kingdom,
But
right?
how do you stay away from him if you can't see him?
Remember the brownie monster being dope?
Oh yeah, he was a fudge.
He was gone too.
What? Angry!
Maybe I was playing some derpy mini version,
Angry!
or I
You
just
can't-
got
you
very
ca-
large,
you
and the
can't-
board got smaller.
You can't possibly have been playing a kid's version of Candyland.
What
in
does that
already,
even mean?
In already the most childish game ever made.
Yeah, how do we dumb down?
Yeah, yeah.
Candy?
What is Candyland Jr.? Why was Zip pink?
What do you mean, why is she pink?
She was pink.
Is she was or is? She looks is he? She pink.
Yeah, why is she pink?
Whatever. The sun is going down. This takes
No,
place
she's
over
been.
one-
She was pink before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
it's
supposed
not-
to be a
she's-
white Pegasus.
On paper, I would think the one I dislike the most would be Rarity.
See, I was very
Because she's a snob. Like
Yeah.
on paper, you'd be like, oh,
That's what makes her the best, is because
she's
like,
delightful. She's so fun to listen
Like
to.
you would think that she would be in any other show, she'd be the villain character.
Yeah.
There's this awkward sense of shows that would interpret the overly feminine character as being kind of a snob, kind of be a selfish, shallow character.
Yeah.
It would have been the easy target of, oh, we're all gonna hate the snob. Yes.
That is especially a problem in girl shows where you're like, oh, okay, so you have, it's really easy to like the main character because everybody else at this high school is absolutely horrible.
You then go to school and you think, well, of course I'm not a bully because I'm not that cartoonish freak.
Right, yeah.
Can I butt in actually? Because that's actually really interesting, because I remember really vividly, I didn't participate in the bullying, but I was in the room where bullying took place, and I really vividly remember not thinking it was bullying because it wasn't so obscenely over the top as
Right.
you would see in a kid's show.
Yeah, the Stephen King villain didn't come in and stab somebody. That
Right.
kind of bully.
I
Or
wish that
Tim
I had
Curry
known
wasn't
so that I
playing Smoke
knew
Demon.
to stop that, you know? And it's upsetting, and I think that kids
is more subtle.
need to know that.
It's more seductive.
I find this evolution of villains, especially in like kids' movies in particular, very interesting. And I this is by no means a new idea or a new discourse. Oh yeah, we're done.
And time. Okay, thanks for joining me, everybody. That's 1 hour and 42 minutes, which at 102 is $1,020 for charity, unless I'm doing my math incorrectly.
Thanks a lot for watching. This episode was uploaded on what would have been my grandpa's 86th birthday. If you'd like to donate or even just read more about it, I've left a link in the description. It's a cause that means a lot to me, so I appreciate being able to put out these lower effort videos from time to time. Until next time, I'm some horse on the internet. Thanks for watching.